Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. And today's video, I'm going to show you guys the best dead zone settings to use in Fortnite. I'm going to show you guys 3 different settings that affect your dead zones and exactly what you should put those settings to. So if you guys are looking to maybe change your dead zones or just really not sure which dead zones to use, I'm going to show you guys the exact dead zones you guys should be using in Fortnite for everything to feel as responsive as possible, while at the same time making sure everything works correctly. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys want to take part in this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video and when I announce the giveaway winners. And lastly, make sure you guys do comment down below either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into my next giveaway. So if you want some free V-Bucks, make sure you guys do enter. And also, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go down to the bottom, click on support a creator, type in my code. My creator code is Young Humor, and you guds will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I want to specifically be showing you my dead zones and 3 different settings that affect your dead zones. And I know a lot of you guys ask me all the time what dead zones are the best, which dead zones do I play on? And honestly, it's a pretty tricky question to answer because there is a few factors. So I want to make this video to really clear up and show you guys exactly which dead zones you guys should be using personally, and just my recommendations for all the settings that apply to it. Alright, so going here into my settings, I'm just going to show you guys all my controller settings. I know you guys are curious and always ask about that as well. So going into my controller settings and sensitivities, these are just the settings that I have. And I always say this all the time, never have vibration on, because when you have vibration on, it makes everything really inconsistent. So if you guys don't already have this setting off, make sure you guys do so, because I know there might be a handful of you guys who might still have it on, but definitely turn it off. And so for my building and editing sensitivity, have it on a 2.3 on both. My X and Y is a 46%. I was playing on a 48%, but I moved it down just 2, which I'll probably explain in a video probably within the next few days, but I did move it down just a little bit. And my my ADS sensitivity is a 10%. And so the 3 specific settings I want to show you guys, or that I want to talk about in this video, is going to be look dampening time, your controller dead zones, and your foot controller setting, because all of these tie into your dead zones. They're all in a way basically dead zone settings, so you really want to make sure you have the right settings for all 3 of these. So the first one I want to talk about is your controller dead zones. And for your controller dead zones, I play on a 10%. And when it comes to the dead zones, my recommendation is always to have as low as you possibly can without having any stick drift. And if you have just a little bit of stick drift, it's not too bad, as long as it's on the right analog stick. Because what happens is, if you have stick drift on your left analog stick, you'll try to either pop a med kit, you maybe try to pop a big shield, and your character will move, and then it will cancel that med kit, cancel that shield you're trying to get. So you want to make sure you have no stick drift at all on the move stick dead zone. As far as your look stick dead zone, you can have it a little bit lower with just minor stick drift. It's not going to be too bad and not a big problem, but the lower you have your dead zones, the more responsive it feels. So if you're playing like a 30 dead zone or a 20 dead zone, I would highly recommend lowering that down, unless of course you have an old controller and you're having stick drift all over the place. And that also goes the same thing with stick drift. If you're having stick drift, then you should raise your dead zones to try to eliminate it. And so going into my look dampening time, now I actually like a little bit of one, like a 0.06. I've seen people all the way up to like 0.2 and around those numbers. So for look dampening time, for me, I don't know, it's hard to explain exactly what it is, but it's kind of like a second dead zone in a way. It doesn't really affect how responsive it is. It kind of affects, so like when you have look dampening time, the best way to like really feel how it is to put it on like 40 to 50%, and you guys will immediately feel the difference. But the one really important thing, and really one good thing that look dampening time will help you out, is if you have a little bit of a look dampening time on, so maybe you have in between like a 0.06 and maybe like a 0.14, you guys it'll help you hit way more shots when it comes to like a mid-range and long range. So if you feel like you're struggling with hitting your shots, if you feel like you're missing shots from ranges, close range, whatever the case may be, I would recommend having a little bit of a look dampening time, because it kind of slows down your small analog stick movements just a little bit. So when you're moving just a little bit left to right, like I'm showing here, then it makes it a little bit more accurate, and it's not like the biggest change ever, but that little bit extra can be a big improvement on your game. Because I like look damping time because you're able to kind of change your small analog stick movements without having to straight up just lower your sensitivity. So having a look damping time can be a really good way to improve hitting your shots from ranges without having to necessarily lower your X and Y sensitivity, which is a good recommendation for you guys. If you feel like your aim's really bad, then I would recommend playing on a lower X and Y sensitivity. But a look damping time kind of really helps out with those small stick movements. So if you're making just small adjustments to your aim, having a little bit of a look damping time will actually improve your accuracy and allow you to hit way more shots. Now, as far as my recommendations for that, I would recommend anything from like a 0.06 to a 0.14. But like I said, I've seen people with above like a 0.2, so it really just is personal preference, but that's what I would recommend. Now, as far when it comes to the foot controller setting, this is an interesting one because you'll see a lot of people with having it on, and you'll see a lot of people with having it off. So I've played with it on for a long time, and I played with it off for a long time. Now, this is a setting that I'm just going to say now that you want to have off 100%. You do not want to have this setting on. Now, some people will have this setting on because it makes their movement feel a little bit more fluid in a way. But when you put this setting on, you will have input delay. And I really did notice this because I always said this for maybe the past like month or two. I didn't really think it was too bad, but I've played with no foot controller setting on for the past couple months, and just putting it on again just to feel how it is when I was making this video, it was a huge difference. Everything felt super delayed. Everything felt just really bad. It's kind of like for those of you guys who's ever played on a TV before and then moved to a monitor, you're like, man, this is a little bit better. And then you finally go back to your TV and you're like, wow, this is actually really bad. The input delay is crazy, and it's like the same type of thing. I guess another example could be your frames. So a lot of you guys may be playing on 60 FPS, and say you played on 50 FPS, you probably won't think it's too bad of a drop. But once you go back to 60, you're going to be like, man, this is like way better than it was before. So same thing is when it comes to your foot controller setting. When you have this setting off, it makes everything feel more responsive. There's less input delay, which is going to make everything a lot more responsive, which is the goal you want to have. You want to have everything as responsive as possible. And one of the easiest and best ways to do that is just going to be as simple as turning off your foot controller setting, because it adds a little bit of input delay. So if you have the setting on, definitely make sure you have it off. But if you want to have the most responsive feeling that you can have in this game, what you want to do is turn off foot controller, play in the lowest dead zones possible, and have no look damping time. But you really want, when it comes to choosing your settings, you really have to find a good balance. Because as I mentioned earlier, you want to play in the lowest dead zones you can, but you don't want to have crazy stick drift. And for whatever reason, when I played on my PS4 controller, I could play on the lowest dead zones possible. With my Xbox controller, I can only play on like an 8% or 10%. So you really have to find the best balance for your dead zones. And if you feel like you're missing shots at your mid-range and long range, you want to put a little bit of a look dampening time on. It's not going to feel as responsive, but it's not going to add input delay like it would for the foot controller setting. It's going to make the small analog stick movements a little bit more accurate, which can be very helpful if you're missing a lot of mid-range and long-range shots, but you don't necessarily want to change your X and Y sensitivity. You want everything to feel the same. So that's a really good setting you guys can put on. So basically, those are the three main dead zone settings in this game. Hopefully this video helped you guys out when it came to choosing the best dead zones possible for you, because like I said, it really just depends on your controller. Because a lot of times, the older your controller, the more stick drift you're going to tend to have. Obviously, sometimes some of you guys do get unlucky and have stick drift with the newer controller. But for the most part, when you have an older controller, you're going to want to play in a little bit higher dead zone to kind of reduce the amount of stick drift that you have, so you're not drifting all over the place. Even though it's not going to feel as responsive, it's going to be a lot better than your character moving without you even touching your controller, which is super annoying to deal with. But pretty much with that being said, that's wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if this video helped you guys out a ton, make sure you guys do hit that like button. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Make sure you guys do turn on my post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And as well, I do live stream every single day here on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. On stream, I play solos every single day. So if you guys want to see me play live, or you just want to come by my live streams, make sure you guys do so. Like I said, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. They're a ton of fun. I read the chat all the time, so definitely come by. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.